Remember our last conversation, when you told me the artifacts made you feel like you were being pulled across the entire galaxy? Well, it got me thinking, so I dove into our archives and started looking through Constellation's older journal entries. Just because I wasn't familiar with the experience you described, doesn't mean the same might have been true for my predecessor. Really? I'm surprised that I haven't. After reading those journals, all of the pleasant memories of my time spent with Aja just started flooding back. Aja Mamasa. She was the youngest member of Constellation when it was founded. Only took her 15 years to reach chair. Sorry, I sometimes get so caught up in my own bubble, I forget that I wasn't the first. She absolutely was. Aja was the one that taught me the ropes at Constellation and took me under her wing as her protege. Yeah, I thought so too. That's why I adopted her methods. You know, Aja and I logged quite a few interesting discoveries together. But it was the journey itself that I'll never forget. We catalogued unusual stellar phenomena, a few habitable worlds, and some unique life forms, but nothing SSNN would bother to report. Exactly. For me, it was all about the quieter moments. There was nothing quite like sitting back and watching space bend while listening to Aja spin vivid stories to fill the time. Oh, I find that sort of cozy isolation the best way to really get to know someone. Yeah, you know, being alone in interstellar space, nothing but light years of black around you. Some people find that terrifying. I find it comfortable. It helps me bond with my shipmates. I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you. You know, all this talk about Aja reminds me that my time with her was a gift. I miss her dearly. No, she retired. Living on Porrima 2 now, I think. Come to think of it, if we're ever out that far, perhaps we could pay her a visit, and I could make proper introductions. Well, you don't need to follow anyone. Just be yourself. I chose to accompany you on this journey because I saw something familiar in your eyes. A hunger for exploration. Good. Then we're both on the same page. Anyway, that's all I had to discuss for now, so if you'd point the way, we can continue our journey.
I have artifacts that date all the way back to the time of Solomon Coe himself. Everything you see here is a piece of Akila City's history. Let me see. Oh dear Lord. It's real. It still exists. This is the original charter for Akila City. And you can see their signatures. This is really the birth of the Freestar Collective. The core philosophy of limited government and inalienable rights. All here. Thank you. If you find anything else, please come back. The museum is always open to you.
Sarah Filburn and her brother-in-law Henry were going at it again. I had to tell him to keep the racket down.
Got a moment to hear about the Low House? It means a lot to me and to others. Good to know there's still some folks who can take an interest in the welfare of others. The Low House is a place where folks down on their luck can get a hot meal and a bed to sleep in. More importantly, they can do it with some dignity. No need to beg or steal. Everything's given with no questions asked, and no favors owed. I run the place. Have for years. But to do it, I have to rely on the kindness of others. Trying to, anyway. Look, I'll be honest with you. We get a little help from some other wealthier folks in the city, but it's barely enough. It takes credits to provide for those in need, and I'm hoping you'll be willing to contribute. If you can spare a few credits, it'll do a lot of good. Thank you. I don't know if you believe in karma, but I do. I think you just earn yourself some. Takes everything I've got to keep the Low House open, but it still doesn't feel like enough. If you're serious, I'm drowning in work. Philborn Agricultural Systems feeds basically everyone in the stretch. Bless the Philborn brothers. But their latest IntelliWheat shipment is late. I'm not worried yet, but getting there. Could you ask Sarah Philborn what the holdup is? Very politely? This is a huge help. If there's anything you can do to speed up the wheat delivery, please do it. I'll have more work for you when you get back.
If you're here for Weston, he's underfoot somewhere. Either here or at the factory. But please, if it's about that brewing nonsense, kindly leave. They don't need any more encouragement. Oh, sorry. My nerves are frayed. So many people coming and going for the company. Weston, that's my husband. Well, he's never been what I'd call a dreamer or a visionary. He's a practical man, good with ledgers and numbers. His brother Henry's the creative one, but he seems to have lost interest in growing the company, and now all he wants to do is brew beer. Philborn Agricultural Systems could provide the whole of the settled systems with food, not just Akila City. Seems those two are content to think small. Well, I wish you were the one I had to convince. Well, you didn't come here to hear me natter on. Anything else? I know, we're late. It's been this whole frustrating episode. Short version, the farming equipment outside the walls needs to be manually rebooted. But the guards aren't going to be able to send people to fix it for days. We're committed to helping the unfortunates on the stretch, but the Ashta are just too dangerous for us to send someone. You would do that? If you get it rebooted, I'll get the harvest going ASAP. We can get the wheat to Amira quick. I'll talk with my husband, but I'm sure we could arrange payment. You'd be helping our business too, after all. Just be careful. Ashta are very dangerous. It's true, my husband runs one of the most successful businesses in the Freestar Collective. But I still think we can do better. Well, there is. The stakes are huge. With further R&D on IntelliWheat, the entire settled systems could benefit. Surely that's worth some less than savory solutions. That's reasonable. Henry's pet project is tied to market perception. His beer, annoyingly, is really good. But if we could make a bad batch, terrible, really, his margins are tight enough he might be forced to throw in the towel. What? Oh god, no. I just want it to taste bad. Like stale, or like it's whatever makes beer taste worse. The next big batch of beer is almost done brewing in our factory. You just need to find a way to break in without getting caught by the guard and tamper with it somehow. Then just wait a day or so and see how the batch goes over at the Stone Root Inn. Do that, and I'll pay you handsomely. That's the last I'll talk of this.
Help us, Bankrupt. I'm sure he'll help us. Stranger! Stranger! Come here! Annie Wilcox. You're new in town, aren't you? That means I'm gonna keep my eye on you. Nice try. But when I don't want to be seen, I'm like an ashta in the night. Is it? Or are you just saying that? See, I work for the Freestar Rangers. I'm the first ever Ranger Surveillance Assistant. And that's not some dumb made-up title. Ranger Emma Wilcox gave it to me. So it's official. I watch people and listen to them. If I hear something about smuggling or Aurora or gangs, I tell the Rangers. It's easy, because no one pays attention to kids. Plus, I know a lot of good hiding places all over the city. I'm the best Ranger Surveillance Assistant that ever lived. Someday, I'll teach other kids the tricks of the trade. Gotta prepare the next generation, because I won't be here forever. So what's it gonna be? Are you gonna be a law-abiding citizen? Or are you gonna be on my list? That's the right answer. I just hope you mean it. Akila City is just crawling with crime. It's everywhere. And it's up to us Rangers to do something about it.
And Ranger Surveillance Assistants.
Someone's stealing guns and stuff from Laredo Arms.
And none of the adults believe us.
So we're hoping, you know, you can help us break it all open. Certainly. I was doing my ranger patrol one night, and there was a suspicious character casing Laredo Arms. I watched him as long as I could, but I had to rush home for bedtime. First thing in the morning, I came back and interrogated Justin Sneed. And he said they were tracking down an inventory discrepancy. I told him about the suspicious stranger, but Mr. Sneed didn't believe me. I couldn't prove anything, but the suspect was acting all sorts of funny. He was trying to make sure no one could see him. My mom says you have to listen to your gut in this business. I just know he's a thief. Exactly! This case was too big for just one ranger, so I deputized Emily.
I'm an Assistant Ranger Surveillance Assistant.
Or, something like that. And we found out that the thief breaks in most nights. Like, really late. He's got his own key card. We just need to catch him. Security will believe you. Emily caught him opening the side door one night. That's when we knew for sure we have an actual criminal here. We did all the things. Crime scene investigated. Witnesses interviewed. And suspect tailed.
I followed the suspect all day. He had no idea.
You're doing Akila City a big service. Best I figure he's there around midnight. You need to wait for him to exit Laredo, then catch him red-handed. We need to bring him to justice.
I've been pondering. Should we warn him about the Ashta? We got a big old sign. Danger. If they open up the gate and go out there, it's on their own head. But if they're far afield, they got no idea what they're in for. You want to warn them? You know I don't like talking to strangers. Then you chose a hell of a profession. Outside is really, really dangerous.
That is good news. What was the holdup anyway? Oh, that makes sense. Aren't they outside the walls? Wait, you went outside the walls, didn't you? Please, don't risk yourself like that. If anyone got hurt working for the Low House. I hate to ask it, but this next errand should be safe. Easy. Everything runs on charity. And our benefactors, though kind, I think sometimes, well, get sick of seeing me. A new face may ease up the purse strings, or at least save me some errands. It's touch and go, sometimes. Pester too much, and they could turn their back on the project. Too little, and people suffer. So, the mayor, Elias Cartwright, has always been generous to us, but it's been a while since he's donated. Raisha Lands is a huge benefactor. Laredo Firearms has been vital for us. Both of those are routine. More polite reminders, really. The last is a long shot, probably futile. But the Trade Authority is incredibly wealthy, and they have never ever donated to us. If you could convince Duncan Lynch to give us anything, heck, a single credit even, I'd consider it a victory. You are a breath of fresh air. Once you're done with that, come back to me. This means a great deal to me, and the community. Keep it up and we'll have to name something after you.
Akila City truly is the jewel of the Freestar Collective. Good to meet you, friend. Name's Elias Cartwright. I'm the mayor of Akila City. Now, I've got a memory for faces, and I can't say I've seen yours around here before. I make it a point to introduce myself to everyone who passes through our fine city. As the founder himself once said, there's no substitute for a warm welcome and a friendly smile. You're more than welcome. As I'm sure you know, us folk in the Freestar Collective put great stock in human kindness and generosity of spirit. I like to think that's what sets us apart from our neighbors in the United Colonies. We don't rely on machines or bureaucracy. We rely on each other. I won't pry about what brought you here. That's all of your business and none of mine. However, I'd be more than happy to give you the scoop about the core and Midtown. Midtown's where most of the business and trading gets done. It's not as old as the core, because it was built later as the city grew. As the name might suggest, Wallside's the district that runs along the inside of the Great Wall that surrounds the city. It's mostly farmers and other laborers that live down there. They ain't got quite as much space, but it's cheaper, so it all works out. The core is the oldest district and represents the original settlement dating back to the days of Solomon Coe. The descendants of the original settlers still make their home there today. You really are new around here, aren't you? Aquila's every bit as dangerous as it is beautiful. There are creatures out there that pose a mortal danger to anyone caught out in the open. Foremost among them is the Ashtar. They're quick, strong, clever, and damn good hunters. I tell you more, but you might not sleep so good. Thankfully, the wall keeps them out. Long as you stay on the right side of it, you've got nothing to worry about. Ah, you must be referring to The Rock. It's home to the largest and oldest cantina in town. That's also where the Council of Governors holds its occasional strategy meetings. As mayor of the city, I have a seat on the council. The Freestar Rangers are headquartered in the upper floors. They've got the best view of the city. I like to think that means they're always keeping an eye on the rest of us. I have to say, I sleep a little easier knowing the Marshal and his Rangers are up there protecting the Freestar Collective. What day is it? Oh, shoot! I forgot. I'll send over my usual monthly donation to Amira. She truly is a wonder. And with the building project her and Mr. Tate are planning, There may be a day when the stretch is a distant memory. Well, from me. Unlike the UC, we don't tax our people to death. The city's budget is very tight, so it falls to the community to look after its own. I'll talk with Amira later. I didn't mean to cause any problems. Between thwarting bank robberies and helping the stretch, you have the city's thanks. Truly. Frank's just the latest owner of the old Hassanov Manor, and he's the worst. Simply the worst. But it's been a problem since the Hassanov family ran out of heirs. There's no wrong the Cartwrights have been trying to right for decades. And hence, well, I need help. He's just another slick, rude, neon corporate hack, full of himself and just awful. I mean, the core is history itself. Cads like him don't belong here. I was right to talk to you about this. The last Hassanov was Sahar. Sad tale there. By all accounts, when she lost her last grandchild around 40 years ago, well, it broke her. She packed up and just plain left the estate. Built some farm far from Akila City and the protection of its walls. It didn't take long before the Ashta overran the farm, and just like that, no more Hassanovs. A lot of folks thought the same. So I need someone to go to the old Sahar farm, brave the Ashta, and see if she left a will. I swear I'll honor her wishes. Akila owes her family that much. And if it happens to kick Mr. Big Shot out of the core, well, that'll be a bonus. Sahar left no heirs, no instructions, so everything the Hassanovs owned was in limbo. What happened to the estate? Well, you'd have to be a lawyer to make heads or tails of it. But eventually it wound up on the open market, so slick neon corporate shills could grace our community. If she named any heir, we could get the estate back where it belongs. See things made right. You are a blessing. Sahar's farm is elsewhere on the planet. If you can't handle Ashta, please just don't go. I don't want this whole sordid story to have more tragedy. Be careful, and look out for yourself.
Talk to Miss Lance if you want to make a purchase.
I'm pleased you chose to visit us today. Oh, so Amira has some help? Good. She's going to work herself into an early grave if she's not careful. Laredo Firearms prides itself in helping out all the residents of Akila City. I'll send Justin over to deliver our monthly donation. The trite answer would be a sense of civic responsibility. But the truth? Guilt. To achieve the level of success I have, broken promises, neglected loved ones, and tough calls. Donations like this are a way of making amends. You are quite welcome.
What brings you to the Trade Authority? The Trade Authority has a firm policy of not getting involved in internal matters. We're neutral in all affairs of the governments of the Freestar Collective and the United Colonies. The Trade Authority's image is doing quite well already. Thank you very much. I'm done discussing this matter.
The Cartwrights have been donating to the Low House for generations.
Am I right?
Elias and Raisha both sent their donations. Thank you. No word from the Trade Authority. I'm sorry I even asked. I like to believe everyone is capable of empathy and compassion, but people like Duncan test my faith. I didn't say that, but I'm not going to correct you. Sarah Philborn gave me these credits to give to you for your help with the farm. You more than deserve it. Those credits are from the grateful Philborns, not me. and I wouldn't take a single one. You've earned it. I have one more thing for you to do, but I hope it's more of a reward. This is part of the Intelliwit harvest. I'd like you to deliver it to Simone Jansen and her family. I want you to see the fruits of your labors.
Amira said to expect you. This wheat ensures my family won't go to bed hungry. I genuinely don't know what my family would do without Amira. And you have no idea how much it means. Over here in Akila, it's humbling to see regular people just looking after us. On behalf of my family, of my daughter, bless you.
I'm so screwed. What? Shit. Yeah? Thief? I mean, no. Yes? Oh, God. Oh, God, no. Security.
Everyone, don't move!
It was supposed to be an easy job.
Don't anybody move. Let's see. If it ain't the hero of Galbank. And who do we have here? Looks like you're carrying a lot of weapons for a nighttime stroll.
Hell, I give up.
Smart move. I got a tip something was going down tonight. Was little Annie actually right about all this? Now that's a terrifying thought. I got her from here. Akila City owes you again. And, thank Annie for me. Dear God, she's never gonna let us hear the end of this.
Alex?
Did you catch the thief? Tell me it worked.
Annie, what are you doing up? It's way past your bedtime.
Mom, I have to know. You got him right, right?
Questions. Meet her halfway, you know?
Yeah, you're right.
I knew it!
Annie L. Wilcox, what did you do?
I told you about it. You know the Laredo robberies? Well, we caught the thief.
Wait, so that's real?
Of course, Mom. I told you.
She's telling the truth. You're not pulling my leg, right? Oh boy. Annie, we'll talk more about this later. But I'm proud of you. But you've got to be careful.
Yes, Mom. I'm gonna be the best ranger surveillance assistant ever.
Thank you for helping my girl and anything else involved. Take this. Lord preserve me.
I'm always watching. The rangers will find all the bad people.
I wish my granddad was still with us. What happened to the Hassanovs never sat right with him. You got it! That's wonderful! But Blake Aldwell... Let me think back. There was a Blake. Might be we can track him or any surviving kin down. I'll get my lawyer on this. Frank Langston's in for a rude surprise. And we can maybe see a Hassanov return back to the Corps. They helped make the Freestar Collective. If they have living heirs, well, it's more than I could have hoped for. You've more than earned this. You've done the city a great service.
People around here think we own Akila. They're wrong. The Ashta do. Friend, I gotta confess, I'm not much in the mood for conversation. I know, I shouldn't let that woman get up under my skin, but, well, I can't seem to help it. Girl comes in here with her big ideas about how we defend our city. No respect for the way we've done things for years. No worries about the possible consequences. And expect us to thank her for making our lives more difficult. I tell you, I've never seen entitlement like that. Not a shred of awareness in her. It's shocking is what it is. Look, this ain't New Atlantis. It ain't all flowers and chirping birds out there. These walls around us, they're here for a damn good reason. I've trained the guards here for years, again, for a damn good reason. We get it wrong, we not watching all the time, then the Ashta kill innocent people. That's the simple reality of the situation. So when someone struts into town with their untested ideas on how to do things better than those of us who dedicated our lives to protecting the city, that don't go over so well. I don't know, some technical mumbo-jumbo about sensors and behavior predictions. That's not the point. She expects us to just change up how things work, and I can't abide by it. We've gotten along just fine until now. This ain't help. This is thinking you know better than the people that have done it for years, decades even. It's just arrogance. Look, this is getting my blood pressure up talking about this so damn much. You think you can talk some sense into her? Be my guest. Otherwise, I suggest you leave defending this city to the people who spent their lives doing it.
My research could open up more of Akila to settlement. In time. Well, you sure don't look like you're delivering the capacitors I'm waiting for. Something I can do for you? Correction. Mr. Wilson has a disagreement with me. I can't tell if he's just being willfully ignorant or has just entirely misunderstood my proposals. I'm not sure what you've heard or, quite frankly, why this seems to be getting around the way it is. Despite assertions to the contrary, I'm not attempting to run anyone out of a job or open the city gates to allow Ashta to come pouring in. Nor am I in any way attempting to make a statement about the competence of the current security forces and/or apparatus in Akila City. I hope that clears things up. Fantastic. I need to prove that what I'm working on can make a positive difference. Then you'll see it my way. I could really use some help, in fact, just to make sure this all goes off without a hitch. Would you be willing to place some sensors for me? Yeah, I need them to start gathering data. Pretty simple, I could do it myself, but at this point I think Davis may be having someone tail me. He's that flustered. That is great news. Just take these and stick them in specific spots in the city along the wall. When you're done, come find me. I'll find something to do in the meantime to give myself an air of plausible deniability. The sensors are pretty durable. I mean, don't go using them as target practice, and they're good to go. You got some good news, I hope? Well, that's that then. So, this next part, it's a bit delicate. See that guard tower across the way there? I need to get in there and make a few small modifications to the terminal inside. I don't have the processing power to collate all the data that'll be coming in from the sensors. The existing network does. Oh goodness, I really am bad at communicating sometimes. I have that part well in hand. The, guard standing outside there, he's not gonna let me in. I need you to distract him. I should only need a few moments. So, I don't know, convince him to take a break or something. Or if you're feeling particularly rebellious, maybe give him some official business to attend to. I believe it's what Davis would refer to as a ruckus. As soon as you've got him occupied, I'll scoot in and out before anyone notices. Okay? Let's do this.
Oh, looks like we got another off-worlder. What brings you to the wall? Boredom? Because if that's what you're looking for, you've hit the jackpot. The view from the top is especially good at setting the mood. Good luck.
We need to be smarter, better in the way we handle the Ashta. That's all settled then. Thanks for the assist. Hope you're none too worse for wear. This is bending the rules, not breaking laws, and it'll all work out in the end. You'll see. Once enough data has been collected, I'll have the proof I need to convince them, especially Davis, that my technology is useful. If you're curious, come back tomorrow. I might even have preliminary findings.
Kate, hold up!
Excuse me.
So, Henry's new batch? How'd it go over?
I know you like Henry, but...
What? There's something wrong?
Sam said it tasted off. Really off. Gladys said it was fine. Then she dumped her whole glass on the floor when she thought I wasn't looking.
No.
I don't think we should carry Henry's stuff anymore. Our regulars have stopped ordering his old stuff, too.
I'll break the news to Henry.
IntelliWheat is revolutionary. Why waste time with brewing when you can do so much good and make so many more credits? Something happened to Henry's beer? That's terrible. So terrible. But I'm sure I know nothing about it. Here's some credits for delivering the news. I expect that's the last I'll be seeing of you.
Please be careful with Mr. Wilson. I have a feeling he's just looking for an excuse with me. Oh, it's you. I got the data from the seismic sensors, and I need help. Nothing that would get you in trouble this time. Promise. Oh, thank you. It's really nice to hear that when others just don't seem to care. Remember the sensors you helped me set up around the city? Well, Davis Wilson is pretty angry about it. I suppose I should have expected that, but now no one involved with security is willing to talk to me. At all. And I really need to coordinate with them because the data I'm getting from the sensors is, well, it's off. Not what I expected at all. Kinda everything. The timing of the results, the strength of the signals. I did a lot of research on the Ashta before I started this project, and none of it lines up like it should. No, the tech is fine. I never would have put it out there if I had any reservations about that. Look, I know I screwed up here. I went behind Davis's back and did what he told me not to. I don't expect him to talk to me. But this, I'm not gonna lie, it looks an awful lot like someone has been purposely messing with the system. I can't just stroll up and accuse him of anything, but maybe someone, you I'm thinking, could just ask around, see if something is going on. I'd really appreciate it.
Vigilance is what keeps Akila City safe. Don't mean to be rude, but I got a lot of things on my plate right now, so unless this is important, I'm gonna have to ask you to come back some other time. Oh, did you now? And did that perhaps come from a certain entitled so-called inventor who's caused me no end of headaches? Oh, is she? After going off and doing exactly what she was told not to, she's concerned now? She made my life a lot more difficult, but I don't have time to deal with that right now. I have more important things to worry about. Been tracking Ashton for a long time now, and suddenly their behavior doesn't add up. Probably not a coincidence. Maybe it would, but right now I don't give a damn about her data. Now I need to get back out there and get some eyes on this situation. Since you so interested, looks like you can handle yourself. You want to join me? Yeah, I've heard more than a few hunters say something similar. They nearly all apologize for it later. Gear yourself up however you need to and meet me at the gate. We'll head out from there. All right, you ready to head out there? Okay then. Just stick close to me, keep your head on a swivel, and you'll be fine. We'll be back before you know it. And maybe we'll get some answers.
Hopefully you're not some UC drone.
This is what I'm talking about. These tracks. They're all wrong. The spacing, the depth, just doesn't make any sense. Let's keep going. The Ashta are clever, but they're usually predictable. These tracks don't follow any other paths I expect them to. It just doesn't add up. Looks like the tracks head this way. Someone sent this thing out to mimic the Ashta? Why in the world? Shit, you hear that? Eyes up, we got incoming. Beyond the wall is no day trip. You know how to handle yourself. Most times someone encounters an Ashta, they panic. Not you. Now I got even more questions. Who in the hell did this, and why? No, this almost cost us lives. No one I know would think that's funny. Someone from Akila Security did this. We're the only ones that have access to these robots or can change their orders. I need to check this over, see if I can find some more details. But while I do that, I need you to run back to the city. Check the access logs on the computer in the barracks. Look for whoever signed for this thing last. I'll meet you in the city when I'm done here.
Hey there! Back already. Davis said something about you going on patrol with him? He's... he's alright, isn't he? Nothing, bad happened out there. Oh, no. Look, people getting hurt was never part of it. Davis has just been so stressed over this whole thing with that woman and her sensors, and it's been affecting him on the job. The damn robot was just supposed to stomp around, mess up her data, and then come back. I didn't know it would rile up the Ashta so much, and it wasn't supposed to break down. It won't matter. I really screwed this up.
The robot's internals are fried, so I came up empty. You have any better luck than I did? Know who's responsible? You serious? Oh, Bailey, what were you thinking? My own people sabotaging equipment. Whole world's gone crazy. Well, I'm gonna have to go deal with this. Thanks for helping out. I'll kick some credits your way. May not be much, but not made of money around here. You might want to give Miss Alpin some time to get clean data. Might be her research. Well, it might prove useful.
We need to be smarter, better in the way we handle the Ashta. Hey, how have you been? Staying out of trouble? I suppose you could. Things here have been, well, they're better. The ice has thawed a bit between me and Davis. We'll probably never be friends, but at least we're on speaking terms now. I think he finally appreciates the value of my research. Yeah, we're much better as a team, even if it is a cautiously engaged one. In fact, speaking of Davis, I have to confess, I'm a little worried about him. In analyzing the recent data, I've isolated readings suggesting that someone is making patrols far more often than in the recent past. I don't have any direct evidence, but I know it's Davis. It's gotta be. I'm worried that everything I've inadvertently put him through is kinda, I don't know, pushed him over the edge, or at least a little too close to it. I'd like to think so, but the data doesn't support that. There's a marked difference in his behavior. I'm better with statistics and circuits than I am with people. I've already made a mess of this situation. Do you think you could go speak to him? If nothing else, it would ease my conscience.
Saw your ship come in. Nice ride.
I'm telling you, Centauri Mills is the way to go. Stock up on their discount.
I can't believe Bailey did such a bonehead move. Oh, brother. Why is it every time I see your face, I bet a headache's gonna follow shortly after? Can't say I'm surprised. So what can I do for you? I don't know whether I should be reassured that someone cares or creeped out that someone's watching me that closely. Ah, that woman, I swear, even though I'm not quite sure if I'm being honest. It's a gut feeling. When we were out there and we found that robot, obviously that threw me for a loop. Still can't believe one of my own people will pull a stunt like that, endangering us all. But the more I thought about it, that whole episode doesn't account for some of the tracks I saw out there. Too large, too spread out. Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. If there's a bigger Ashta out there, something meaner than what we've seen so far, I have to know. I tell you what, if you and Kiona are worried, why don't you just come with me then? Either I get an extra gun in the fight, or you get to laugh at the old man and say, I told you so. I'll give you a chance to gear up if you need it. And maybe grab the biggest gun you got, just in case. All right. You know, Kioni showed me her data. She's a clever kid. She's got a lot of things figured out. I think we can make some real improvements in the future. She had a couple sets of data that she thought were erroneous or something. But it seems to me that it might not be. A bigger, faster Ashta sounds like it matches up with the tracks I've seen. But I tell you, I'm hoping she's right and it's just a glitch. And no need to tell her I said that. Wouldn't want it going to her head. All right, here we are. Let's head this way. I remember a story from the first time I was here on Akila. I had totally forgotten about it till recently. Every so often we get independent types who think that they can succeed where everyone else has failed. Some of them stride off into the wilderness, certain that they're going to make more credits than anyone in history, mining, botanist stuff, whatever. Warnings just don't get through to them. Most of them don't come back. But this one-time miner from some corporation or other, he drags himself back into the city bloody and half dead. Claimed he seen an Ashton big as a house out there. The older guys all said he was delirious. And me, well, I was new as anything and just listened to him. Now, though, I'm wondering if maybe it wasn't just blood loss and heat stroke. Maybe he really did see something. Maybe I should have come out here a long time ago. Shit, that's gotta be it! No matter what happens, you make it back to the city and tell them about this. You hear me? I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't think we were gonna make it through that. If you hadn't been with me, no way I'd be standing right now. I mean, it does and it doesn't, you know? We got out alive this one time. That's good. But this ain't gonna be the last time we have to deal with this. Now that we know these things are out here, we need to track them and keep them out of populated areas. And that plan is gonna need everybody. So, I'm gonna swallow my pride a bit here and ask you to go tell Keone what we found. Let her know that her data wasn't an error and that she needs to focus on it. Oh, don't worry about me. Thanks again for saving my ass.
So, what happened? Really? Oh my gosh, I can't believe I didn't trust it. You know, I was really hitting a point where I was starting to think maybe this was all a mistake, that I stuck my nose into something I shouldn't have. Davis was so certain they had everything under control that they didn't want or need my help. But they did, didn't they? Yeah, you're right. If anything, this has proven I should trust my instincts. I need to get to work on this immediately. But while I've been sitting around, I whipped up a little something for you. I thought it was funny. Now that I'm giving it to you, I'm hoping it's not in really poor taste. Anyway, thank you. Again.